sir. Sri Sukhendu Sekhar Roy.
Thank you, sir. On the occasion of 250th session of the Council of States, I, on behalf of All India Trinamool Congress, extend warmest greetings to the Honorable Chairman, to the Honorable Leader of the House, the Honorable Leader of the Opposition, all other distinguished and honorable members, members of the Secretariat, staff of Rajya Sabha, and all other concerned. Sir, I wish that discussion could have been for a longer time than the time allotted today, because it is a very crucial subject, very crucial issue, because the issue is the role of Rajya Sabha in Indian polity and the need of reforms. Sir, if I look at the history for a moment, I will find that Government of India Act 1919 passed Montagu-Chelmsford reforms, introducing bicameral form of legislation. Thereafter, the Government of India Act of 1935, it laid the foundation of India's federal structure, establishing a bicameral federal legislature consisting of the Council of States and the Federal Assembly. After independence, the Constitution of India in
कृपया शांत रहें, महत्वपूर्ण बात पे चर्चा हो रही, प्लीज.
In Article 79, sir, please कृपया उनको बोलिए जो लोग शांत नहीं रहना चाहते हैं.
I've already requested them and I hope they will take care of
शांत
it.
नहीं रहना चाहते, उनको दिक्कत अगर हो रहा है सुनने में, तो वो अपना चले जाए कहीं, ताकि हाउस.
I've already requested them, all of them, please.
So after independence, we have found that in Article 79 of the Constitution of India, it was stipulated, and I quote, "There shall be a parliament for the union, which shall consist of the president and two houses, to be known respectively as the Council of States and House of the People." And Article 80 has provided for the formation of the Rajya Sabha, how it will be formed, etc. Now, sir, on the role of Rajya Sabha, what Dr. B.R. Ambedkar said, the chairman of the draft committee of the Constitution, sir, I quote only 2-3 lines. Quote, "The government at the center and states are co-equal in the sense that they derive their legitimacy and authority from a common source, that is the Constitution itself. The upper house in Parliament, fashioned as a Council of States, can be understood as an institutional arrangement through which constituent units become part of decision-making process at the central level itself." So, how the Council of State is important in our constitutional framework that has been elaborately explained by Dr. Ambedkar and other honorable members of the Constituent Assembly. Said. There is, however, difference in powers between the two houses. We know that in respect of, as already mentioned by the Honorable Chairman, that in the matter of no confidence motion and money bills, the Rajya Sabha do not enjoy the same power as the Lok Sabha enjoys. Now, sir, there is a tendency of giving rise to the money bills. And one of our distinguished members, Mr. Joyram Ramesh, had to run to the apex court to challenge the decision, some of the decisions, that whether these are money bills or not. The situation has already arises where we are not satisfied, particularly the members of the Rajya Sabha are not satisfied on all occasions that some bills are framed in a manner as money bills. Sir, I strongly feel that Rajya Sabha has played a pivotal role in upholding our constitutional goals and to fulfill the aspirations of the people living in different states of the country. Sir, even though some pundits, they prescribe for abolition of Rajya Sabha. And in the Lok Sabha, on a number of occasions, private mills were introduced and discussed for abolition of Rajya Sabha. Now, sir, it is heartening to note that the Honorable Prime Minister, Honorable Chairman, Honorable former Prime Minister, all of them, they are advocating that the importance and role of Rajya Sabha should be protected by all means. This is a welcome development, and I welcome the statements made by all of them. Now, sir, somebody says that there are instances of obstructionism in Rajya Sabha, no doubt about it. But I strongly feel that obstructionism is an essential part of democracy. Because when something is done against the will of the government, when something is done bypassing the main principles of the Constitution, then obstructionism is very much needed, either in that house or in this house or outside the houses on the streets by the people of India. This is an essential part of democracy which nobody can deny. It is happening all over the world.
Please, कृपया बोल दें.
Now, sir, what should be the reforms? The reforms part, because time is very much limited. The reforms part. Many of us possibly have forgotten about the second commission on interstate relations constituted by the government of India, and that is called Punchy Commission. After Sarkaria Commission, Punchy Commission was constituted, and this Punchy Commission on Center-State Relations, they submitted their report in 2010, and we are in 2019. That recommendations have not yet been finalized by the successive governments at the center, including the present government. What that recommendations are in regard to Rajya Sabha. I am concentrating on Rajya Sabha only. The first recommendation that Punchy Commission made in regard to Rajya Sabha is that the essence of federalism lies in maintaining a proper balance of power in governance, and in this respect, the Council of States, that is Rajya Sabha, occupies a significant role. There is no doubt that Rajya Sabha is representative of states of the Union and is supposed to protect states' rights in central policy making, Punchy Commission says. And it further says, the Commission is of the considered view that factors inhibiting the composition and functioning of the second chamber as a representative forum of states should be removed or modified, even if it requires amendment of the constitutional provisions. This is felt more important now when centralization tendencies are getting stronger and fragmentation of the polity is becoming intense. This is very important. Nowadays, we are finding that centralization of power, based on majoritarianism, the centralization of powers is acute, and therefore, this recommendation of Punchy Commission must be adhered to. The second recommendation regarding Rajya Sabha reforms, Punchy Commission says, whenever central policies are formulated in relation to one or more states, as Honorable Prime Minister, former Prime Minister stated, in relation to one or more states, it is only proper that committees of Rajya Sabha involving representatives of concerned states are allowed to discuss and come up with alternate course of action acceptable to the states and the Union. In fact, Rajya Sabha offers immense potential to negotiate acceptable solutions to the friction points which emerge between center and states in fiscal, legislative, and administrative relations. And finally, the Punchy Commission recommends about Rajya Sabha. It says, a balance of power between states and interstate desirable, and this is possible by equality of representation in the Rajya Sabha. If the Council of States has failed to function as representative of states as originally envisaged, it is because of the asymmetry of coalition politics and the way the party system developed. The functioning of Rajya Sabha can be reformed to achieve the original purpose of federal equilibrium. The Commission therefore strongly recommends amendment of the relevant provisions to give equality of seats to states in the Rajya Sabha irrespective of their population size. So that is a very crucial recommendation whether one accepts or not. And finally, the Commission is also considered opinion that the reasoning of the Supreme Court in Kuldeep Nair case, whereby the domicile requirement was done away with, that should be restored. Article 3, the Section 3 of the Representation of People Act should be revived in its original form. That is the recommendation of the Punchy Commission. So now, regarding the rules of the Rajya Sabha, I am coming to that. But before that, I want to submit that right now even the existing legislative powers of the Rajya Sabha are under attack because many bills are termed as money bills. I have already stated about. Now, sir, the rules. In the rules, we cannot discuss the role of, I am giving one example, that we cannot discuss the role of the governor unless we move a substantive motion. I moved substantive motion against one former governor. It was listed in 2 consecutive sessions, but it was never taken up. This is the fate of the substantive motions. Therefore, some provision should be made that we can discuss institutions like the Office of Governor, because it is very essential. Governors are appointed nowadays, people call it as agents of the central government, which I do not subscribe to that view. But unfortunately, this is the common view. And in some states, the role that are being performed by the governors are detrimental to the constitutional scheme and the interest of the people at large. My state, हमारा राज्य में जो हो रहा है, कभी भी कुछ भी बोलने लगा राज्यपाल जी। अच्छा, आपको राजनीति करना, सुनिए, आपको राजनीति करना है, राजनीति कीजिए, आप राजनीति पाल मत बनिए, राज्यपाल से आप राजनीति पाल मत बनिए। आपको अगर राजनीति करना है कीजिए आप, लेकिन राजभवन को छोड़ के कीजिए। हर रोज
आप राजभवन पे प्लीज आप जानते हो उसके लिए बात करने के लिए प्लीज
आई एम रेफरिंग टू द रूल दैट सब्स्टेंटिव मोशन, अगर सब्स्टेंटिव मोशन नहीं आता है चर्चा के लिए तो हम कैसे चर्चा करेंगे? हमें तो कोई अवकाश दिया जाना चाहिए। यही मेरा निवेदन है आपसे कि राज्यपाल को भी नियंत्रित करना है कॉन्स्टिट्यूशनल गाइडलाइन के मुताबिक। थैंक यू सर।
थैंक यू सुखेंदु शेखर राय जी। मेरा माननीय सदस्यों से पुनः आग्रह होगा कि कोई सदस्य बोलते हैं, महत्वपूर्ण चर्चा हो रही है, तो कृपया बातचीत करनी हो तो बाहर जाए, उनको व्यवधान होता है।